She said, "Try not to be too late, darling. I'll wait up for you." He did not reply. She paused in the doorway and considered him for a moment. He still looked young for 42, and had always been more handsome than he realized, a quality she found attractive in a man as well as rare. It was not that he was modest, she'd come to realize. On the contrary, he was supremely indifferent to anything that did not engage him intellectually, a trait that had earned him a reputation among her friends for being downright bloody rude. And she quite liked that as well. His preternaturally boyish American face was bent over the book, his spectacles pushed up and resting on the top of his thick head of light brown hair. Catching the firelight, the lenses seemed to flash a warning look back at her. She knew better than to try to interrupt him. She sighed and went upstairs. Hoffman had known for years that The Expression of the Emotions in Man and Animals was one of the first books to be published with photographs, but he had never actually seen them before. Monochrome plates depicted Victorian artists' models and inmates of the Surrey Lunatic Asylum in various states of emotion: grief, despair, joy, defiance, terror. For this was meant to be a study of Homo sapiens as animal, with an animal's instinctive responses stripped of the mask of social graces. Born far enough into the age of science to be photographed, their misaligned eyes and skewed teeth nonetheless gave them the look of crafty, superstitious peasants from the Middle Ages. They reminded Hoffman of a childish nightmare, of grown-ups from an old-fashioned book of fairy tales who might come and steal you from your bed in the night and carry you off into the woods. And there was another thing that unsettled him. The bookseller's slip had been inserted into the pages devoted to the emotion of fear, as if the sender specifically intended to draw them to his attention. "The frightened man at first stands like a statue, motionless or breathless, or crouches down as if instinctively to escape observation. The heart beats quickly and violently, so that it palpitates or knocks against the ribs." Hoffman had a habit, when he was thinking, of cocking his head to one side and gazing into the middle distance, and he did so now. Was this a coincidence? Yes, he reasoned, it must be. On the other hand, the physiological effects of fear were so directly relevant to Vixal 4, the project he was presently involved in, that it did strike him as peculiarly pointed. And yet Vixal 4 was highly secret, known only to his research team, and although he took care to pay them well, $250,000 was the starting salary, with much more on offer in bonuses, it was surely unlikely any of them would have spent $15,000 on an anonymous gift. One person who certainly could afford it, who knew all about the project and who would have seen the joke of it, if that was what this was, an expensive joke, was his business partner, Hugo Quarry, and Hoffman, without even thinking about the hour, rang him. "Hello, Alex. How's it going?" If Quarry saw anything strange in being disturbed just after midnight, his perfect manners would never have permitted him to show it. Besides, he was accustomed to the ways of Hoffman, the mad professor, as he called him it to his face as well as behind his back, it being part of his charm always to speak to everyone in the same way, public or private. Hoffman, still reading the description of fear, said distractedly, "Oh, hi. Did you just buy me a book?" "I don't think so, old friend. Why? Was I supposed to? Someone's just sent me a Darwin first edition, and I don't know who. Sounds pretty valuable." "It is. I thought because you know how important Darwin is to Vixal, it might be you." "Afraid not. Could it be a client? A thank you gift and they've forgotten to include a card?" "Lord knows, Alex, we've made 'em enough money." "Yeah, well, maybe. Okay. Sorry to bother you." "Don't worry. See you in the morning. Big day tomorrow. In fact, it's already tomorrow. You ought to be in bed by now." "Sure. On my way. Night." As fear rises to an extreme pitch, the dreadful scream of terror is heard. Great beads of sweat.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.